So I've got the updated Kia Sonet with me today, and well, it's not just a facelift, but it's a major update to the product. It looks different, it feels different, it's got a lot of new features and tech, and most importantly, it is different to drive as well. So what are the details, what's new in this car? And I'm driving it right now in Bhopal, and as people in Bhopal would say it, कि भैया ये से कैसे गाड़ी खरीद लेंगे, इसमें सामान क्या है ये तो बताओ. So that's exactly what we'll tell you over the next few minutes, what the new Kia Sonet has to offer. Now let's start off with the design first, and as you can see that the new Sonet has got a major update in terms of design. It looks a lot sharper, a lot premium. One of the biggest changes are these headlamps. New headlamps, they've got a new design altogether, and the new nice looking LED pattern looks cool and sharp at the same time, gives the Sonet a lot of dynamism in its character. If you look at the grille, again it looks premium. You've got this camera up front here for the 360-degree view that you have. And if you look at the lower part of the bumper, the fog lamps, all of it has been done in a way to give the Sonet a very aggressive persona, and that comes together very well when you look at it. Of course, depending on the variant that you choose for, whether you're going for the GT line or for the standard variant, some things will differ, but the basic design philosophy is to make it look sharp and aggressive, and that it does very successfully. When you move to the side, you've got this very nice looking new design for the alloy wheels. It looks chunky, sharp, gives the side a lot of nice look, and it looks kinetic. That's the right word for it. The Sonet with these updates looks very kinetic in terms of design. Not much has changed in terms of the silhouette, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, there was nothing wrong to start with. And even at the back, again, the tail lamps are very similar in terms of pattern to the headlamps, but the big change is that they are now connected, so they run from one end to the other. It accentuates the feeling of width for the car, so gives it a far better dynamic road presence. And when you add all of these things together, I think the Sonet looks massively better than the outgoing version, and is probably, in my opinion, one of the best looking subcompact SUVs on sale today. Once you step inside the cabin of the new Sonet, you realize very quickly that you're walking into a car that comes with segment best features. It is the most loaded vehicle in the segment right now. Now, what is the highlight? Well, first of all is this complete panel, one single panel housing the instrument cluster and your touchscreen infotainment unit. The infotainment unit itself, very easy to use. The touch response is fluid, visibility under sunlight is good, and of course it comes with Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, both wired, not wireless. The instrument cluster is a fully digital instrument cluster. Again, you can customize the way it looks, the information that you want, gives very clear readouts, very easy to use. And beyond that, when you look at the overall dashboard, the layout, everything is ergonomically sorted. The material quality is fine given the segment standards and the expectations. Even the fitment quality, the panel gaps, all of that is being taken care of in a very nice manner. The steering wheel, again, this is the GT line. So you see the GT line badging here. It's a flat bottom steering wheel, all the controls here. If you're not going in for the GT line, of course, then you'll have a different badging on the steering. But these are just some minor differences that will vary from variant to variant. Also, it will depend, the seat upholstery and the color that you get for the dashboard will vary on the variant. So if you're going for a different variant, you could probably have a beige or a lighter combination, but this being the GT line, the sportier version has got an all black theme with these white inserts. Looks sporty, looks cool. Talking of the seats, by the way, these are ventilated seats. So again, for both the seats, you've got controlled 3 settings for cooling them. Comes in real handy during summers. Also, the driver seat now is electrically powered 4-way adjustable, so you can push it back forward. The recline can be adjusted, but the height adjustment has to be done manually. Now, if I talk about the space overall within the cabin, the cubby holes, the bottle holders, all of them plenty, give you good space to store all your knickknacks. You've got this wireless charging tray here. There is a standard electrically operated sunroof. So in terms of features, there is absolutely no shortage, and it's a connected car. Also, it comes with a lot of connected features, some new connected features. So when you add all of this, you get a vehicle that is right at the top of its segment in terms of features. Once you're in the rear seat of the Sonet, well, it's a better experience than the outgoing model because, first of all, space. When it comes to leg room, Kia engineers have carved out space from the front seat, and that means that now you have more knee room, leg room. So as you can see, I can easily slide my legs under the driver's seat, and now as a result of this scoop area, I have a lot more free knee room. In terms of headroom, well, nothing has changed, and that's not a bad thing. A lot of headroom continues to be there. So even if you're taller, I'm 5 feet 8 inches for reference, and well, plenty of space. And in terms of seat, well, the seat itself is quite nice. The floor, like you can see, is not completely flat, but the tunnel, the transmission tunnel, is not that high as well, and the seat is flat. So as a result of that, you can have 3 people sitting here, but at best I would recommend it's for 4. The one good addition I really like is the blind at the back, so that again adds to the comfort factor for the occupants. And when you look at it, I mean, I think it's a great cabin to be in. You've got this brilliant Bose audio system, so for all your audiophiles out there, again, a lot of things to rejoice. There's also an air purification system here with these touch display and the responses. It shows what is the AQI, what is the air quality inside the cabin, and as it improves, you can see it improving inside. So basically it just ensures that no virus or no pollution is getting inside the cabin. So add all of that, and what you get is a cabin that, like I said earlier, is feature loaded, it's tech loaded, it is spacious, it is comfortable, and as a result of that, it would appeal to someone who's buying it from a sporty perspective, from a family perspective, for just an adventure perspective. I mean, just think of any usage, and the new Sonet just fits to the T for that purpose. Now, before I go ahead and talk about the driving aspect of the new Kia Sonet, if you like this video, please share it, like it, and also subscribe to the channel and press that little bell icon so that all our forthcoming videos can reach you directly. Now, like I said at the start of the video, that this car is different to drive as well. But that does not mean there's any major change to the powertrain. You still get the same powertrain, so you get a 1.2 liter petrol engine with a 5-speed manual transmission, and you can also go in for a 1 liter turbocharged engine with either a 7-speed dual clutch transmission or a 6-speed manual, or you can go in for a diesel, which is what we are driving. And that's what makes this car so different, because it's one of the very few models in the entire segment to offer diesel. And that's something I really love about it. Now, talking of this diesel engine, well, this puts out about 114 brake horsepower, 215 Newton meters of torque, and you can either have it with the manual transmission or with a 6-speed automatic that we are driving right now. And in terms of driving, well, despite being a diesel, there is very less diesel clatter that filters inside the cabin. So that's one of the first things that you will end up noticing compared to the previous Sonet. I think the noise, vibration and harshness, which is known as NVH insulation, has improved in this vehicle. So this feels a lot more refined than the older version. Now, that's not because of any major change to the engine. It's just because of the NVH insulation and the soundproofing that's been done. So I think this feels a lot smoother. The cabin feels a lot quieter, and that's a great thing. In terms of power, well, there is no shortage of power that you will find with this motor. Lot of torque, 250 Newton meters. Not just looks good on paper, but out in the open world, on the roads, it feels quite torquey as well. So right from the word go, right from the moment you push off, the motor's got a lot of torque to propel you, and at any speed, in any gear, you've got a good drive. So that's something really good about this motor. The transmission again has been made to the motor very well. So these shifts are quite seamless, not entirely sporty, but that's fine. I mean, it's a diesel, and but still, it's a fairly quick gearbox. So what you get at the end of the day is a very smooth and hassle-free powertrain in terms of driving experience. But that doesn't still tell how it's different to drive, right? Well, it's different to drive in the way that the damping has been updated. So as a result of that, the way the suspension behaves is a bit different. I think this feels a little bit softer compared to the older Sonet. So it's a bit more comfortable in terms of ride quality, and I'm sure that's something that a lot of buyers will appreciate. Not that the older Sonet wasn't great, but this one's just a tad better in terms of ride quality when it comes to comfort. Also, the other big change in terms of driving dynamics is the inclusion of all-wheel disc brakes. So now you've got disc brakes on all four wheels, and that means that the braking is better, and we've tried it. So the brakes are way sharper than the older Sonet. So even the initial bite is good, and the stopping distance is less, and that completely adds to safety. Quite simply, it's a safer and better car to drive. You can have much more confidence in it, and you can throw it around corners with a lot of more confidence because you know the brakes are going to anchor it or reel it back in. In terms of handling, again, just that minor update to the suspension, but otherwise Sonet has always been good in terms of handling. A very neutral vehicle, and it continues to be so. It's not on the sporty side, it's not overly soft, so you get some bit of body roll, but not to the extent that it will unsettle the chassis altogether. Not to that point. So it drives well, you can go around corners at a rapid pace and the car will not complain. And even the steering gives you a decent amount of feedback in terms of what's happening with the wheels up front. So yeah, overall I think it's a good car to drive, better than the older Sonet. So that's a step ahead, and I mean, that's what matters for most buyers. Like I said earlier, in terms of features, in terms of design, it's a big upgrade and mild upgrade in terms of driving experience, but nonetheless a step ahead. One other big change in the Sonet is the inclusion of ADAS and level 1 ADAS. That means now you have enhanced active safety, so it prevents an accident from happening. So you've got things such as lane departure warning, lane keep assist. You've also got collision assist, so in case the car thinks that, well, you're going to ram into something, it will warn you. In case you're not attentive enough, it will brake as well. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a good thing to have in terms of safety. Also, 6 airbags standard, no matter what variant you're choosing. So good on terms of safety as well. And that brings us to the end of the video, and this is the part where we tell you whether you should buy this or not. Well, for that, I need to know the price. As of now, I don't know the price because the car hasn't been launched yet, but it will be very soon. And knowing Kia's history of pricing vehicles, I think it should be priced well. It should be priced aggressively. And for the features, like I said, it's a brilliant upgrade in terms of features. It looks better, it feels better, it drives better, it is smarter, it is more connected. So yeah, I mean, it's a big improvement on all fronts. All that remains to be seen is the pricing, and as long as Kia can price it aggressively, I think there is no reason why the Sonet will not take a step ahead of the success that it is already built on. And if you are out in the subcompact SUV segment looking for something that's smart, neat, connected, feature-rich, and good to drive, I think the Sonet is one of the best options on offer today.